Joining us once again, Derrell Peel, our livestock marketing specialist. Derrell, last time you were here, we were talking about prices. They were just up, and up, and just kind of seemed to keep going that way. Anything changed in the last 2 weeks?
Well, I think we are probably near a top in most of these cattle and the wholesale beef markets. And that's to be expected seasonally. Just in general, they can't keep going up, obviously, but there's a number of factors going on. Wholesale beef has peaked and come back down from its second really roller coaster high this year. That obviously is squeezing the packer side. Fed cattle prices have not actually come down that much yet, but they look like they have probably topped out. I do expect them to begin working their way lower here through the second half of April, and certainly into May and June when we get into the seasonal peaks in fed cattle marketings and cattle slaughter.
All right, now here we are, it's mid-April. We've had temperatures this week around 90 degrees, and now we've had snow. How has that played into things?
Well, I think the weather is having a big impact on feeder cattle markets and cow markets in particular. The cold weather is probably the major factor right now. It's been a cold spring most everywhere, and so even in places that have moisture, we've seen very delayed forage development on the one hand. Pastures are not ready, and so that's an issue. In the case of crop production, the cold weather is delaying planting. We're just, really getting into that, but certainly the corn market is going to start watching that very carefully, adding volatility to, as markets go up or as weather goes up and down. And so that will be an impact potentially on the feeder cattle market as well.
All right, now you mentioned moisture, but even though we've had a little this week, it's still not much. We've still got some pretty drought conditions throughout the state. How's that playing in?
We have an awful lot of the state that's in marginal drought conditions, some that are in serious drought conditions. And as the clock ticks here, we're in mid-April. We've got maybe another month left really to get these forage conditions improved. Again, we talked about temperature, but obviously once it warms up, if we don't have moisture, then we're going to be in a serious situation. So those producers, from the standpoint of feeder cattle markets, I think we are beginning to see some signs that it's topped. It really hasn't come down very much yet, but it looks like it's kind of topped. These cull cow markets actually came back down a little bit. They've peaked at a very high record level this spring, but they've come back down a little bit this spring. And again, we could be back into some increased beef cow culling here in the next month if we don't see some improvement in forage conditions.
All right, plenty to keep an eye on. Derrell Peel, Livestock Marketing Specialist here at Oklahoma State.